Hey everyone, welcome back to another Wednesday evening with the Shower Door Professionals. We are streaming live on Facebook and here in Zoom with our friends here in the Shower Door business. If you have not joined us before, you should think about coming on in here. I mean, the best way to do that, I think, is just go to the showerdoorpros.com, showerdoorprofessionals.com. It's the co-op website, and there's instructions there on how you can join the call. You don't really have to be a member of the Facebook group in order to participate. You can just come in that way and click on the link and join the call. And, share your ideas and opinions and ask questions. Just be part of the group. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watching us on YouTube, please feel free to leave a comment, uh, give us a like, and tell your friends. Hey, your shower door friends. All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Christina. Hey, Christina, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. You're
Yeah.
always here.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. Thank you. My name is Christina Alaya. I am the, I guess, Director of Business Development at the Shower Door Guy out of Atlanta, and I am the president of the Shower Door Professionals Co-op. The co-op is a group of people who have gotten together, a group of shower door businesses who have gotten together to generate leads for one another through joint marketing efforts, education efforts, and just altogether bolster the industry and knowledge of the industry so that when people think, oh, I need a shower door, should I go to Home Depot? No, they think I should go to the Shower Door Professionals website and pick out my local shower door professional. So that's kind of the goal. And we want as many members as possible to make that happen because we need to blanket the United States as much as possible to make that happen. So if you have any interest in membership or contributing blog posts, educational materials, photos, we are going to blast all of that information out on our social medias. We'll tag your business. It's almost like free marketing for your business. Um, I guess it's not free if you're a member, but anyway,
Nearly free. It's almost
it's
free.
almost free. It's very cheap to be a
Great
member,
value.
and go ahead and get in on the ground level because we could use some help, definitely. And I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I'm really excited about all the things that we're doing. And there's a lot of opportunity and potential here. We just need some help. So if you want to get involved, if you want to be a part of this, please reach out to me. I would really love to chat with you. You can also reach out to Chris, Lana, Mike Merlina, Shannon McKinney, um, Rob Gomez, really any of us. We are all involved in it pretty heavily and excited to kick it off. So that's all I got for right now. Showerdoorprofessionals.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, this evening, our topic is about human resources and talent management. So, we're going to talk a little bit about just recruiting, training, employee benefits. How do you pay for those? And how do you award them? Do you have the same package for everyone, or is there some kind of a standard that you use for deciding who gets what? Um, I have to admit, this is a topic that I don't know a lot about. I've never had a very big crew of people, and whenever I had a crew of guys, I just always outsourced all this stuff. It's can be pretty complicated, but I guess that's why we want to talk about it and just kind of see if we can get some of your insights about how do you approach these things. And And I
I'm
guess,
kind of like you.
oh, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna I'm gonna sit here and learn too because I'm kind of like you. I've always
Right?
been a helper, so planning to grow in the next couple of years. So I'd like to get insights on people that actually have employees, and what they do for benefits and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the first step is just, recruiting. How do you get employees in the first place? I mean, I guess that's where it all starts. How are you guys finding people to work in your companies?
Referrals and Indeed is what we use. And we're also doing we're going to like local technical colleges and recruiting from there as well. Although we found that a lot of people in the trades aren't necessarily coming to those recruitment fairs, job fairs at their colleges, because
Mhm.
I guess they assume that a craftsman type job isn't going to be there. It's not really for them. So we've run into a lot of people for like IT and reception and things like that. But um, yeah, we've been pretty lucky with that. And Greg Stowell had a really great insight that we started doing on interviewing, where the final round of interviews is like your team interviews the new person, the potential new hire, so that they can really vet the person that they're going to be working with and have some buy-in. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that. I thought that was a really smart idea for, yeah, just see what's this person going to look like on the team, and just kind of a preliminary conversation like that. So once you have the help you need, how are you doing HR? I mean, is that something that you guys are doing, or are you outsourcing that to a payroll company, or how does that work?
For us, I use we use Bamboo HR as our like HR platform so people can log their hours and we run payroll through that and to keep track of um, I guess their like tax information and all of that good stuff. But it's not like I still run payroll and it's still like a several hour process every 2 weeks. So um, it just kind of depends. And it takes several hours because we do have like some commission structures set up. So there's a lot of reports that I need to pull and data I need to make sure is correct. So that is really what takes the longest. Um, Commission structures are really, really tough to report on. I think that's the hardest thing.
Yeah, I'll bet. I've never worked in that kind of a structure. Not in construction where, some of the employees were getting commissions. So do you have people that work on straight commission, or are they getting an hourly salary or something plus commissions?
Hourly plus commissions, essentially. And that's for our sales guys. It has to make sense for them.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I'll bet that can be complicated. I mean, payroll all by itself is so complicated. I mean, with all the taxes and like stuff like that. So you say you're using a platform called Bamboo,
Yeah, I at my prior company that I worked for, we used that software, and I thought it was pretty slick. It's a pretty nice little piece of software for time cards and tracking PTO and stuff like that. So we also offer some PTO for our employees. It's a flat 2 weeks of paid time off, or like 10 business days rather. We track it hourly, I guess, for a minimum time off of like 4 hours. If they're gonna ask for time off, they don't need to like clock out for a doctor's appointment that's gonna take an hour or something. That'd be kind of silly. Or like they need to clock out, but they don't need to request paid time off or something like that. So it's all very complicated and lots of explanations and precedent setting and making examples of things and people, which I hate. but it's the only way it seems to do it. So
Awesome. Who else? Well, let's see. Who do I see? Daniel. You guys
Yeah,
have some employees, don't you?
yeah, I think we have somewhere around 10 to 12, I guess. 10 to 12. We do, as far as the HR stuff, everything's done in-house. We don't outsource anything. We do use ADP or what is it? ADP, something like that for payroll.
Mhm.
We process it, we submit everything, and we keep track of all we do like a weeks of 1 week of PTO, and then we do incrementally, we do vacation. So after your first year, you get a week. After your first 3 years, you get 2 weeks. And then after 5 years, you get 3 weeks. But we just manually track that. We manually track that. We had it where it was tracking it on ADP and it would roll over and stuff like that. So like, I know me personally, I can speak for myself personally, like my sick pay, it would accrue based off of the hours that I would work. And I ended up with like 500 hours of sick pay at one point and stuff. And it's just, but now we've decided recently that we're just like, if you don't use it for the year, it's gone and it starts over new. Because after, keeping track of it rolling over was difficult. Especially if you're doing it manually. I mean, I never use my sick pay, so that's why mine got to where it was. Most of the other guys, they'd use it in the first 3 months, it seemed like, and they'd be done. So then their time off would just be not paid, unless it was vacation pay. And then as far as recruiting and getting people, we've had most of our people have been with us probably at least five. All of them have been with us. They've all had to have been with us at least 5 to 10 years. We had one guy right now that's maybe been with us for about a year now coming up. Um, so most of our people have been with us for a long time, it seems like.
So
But
your
recent,
newest guy has been with you almost a year, is that right?
yeah. And then
Wow.
everybody else is like 10 to probably like 7 to 10 years, honestly. Um, but we're in a little bit of a struggle right now with people because we have a guy out with a broken collarbone and we got a guy that's going to Peru for a vacation for 3 weeks. So we're down to like three installers. And, we've been using Indeed to recruit people and find people. And it's good. There's a lot of people that come across, but like four of the people that we had scheduled for interviews didn't show up or had something come up and happen. So they're in, it's like, based off of whatever it was, they're most likely just done, next. We had one guy that was supposed to start Monday. He's been in carpentry for 17 years. He's probably mid 30s, and our luck, he came in. He showed up, but he had a spider bite over the weekend from doing lawn work, and his whole hand was like swollen and puffed up. And he at least came in to show us, and we're like, yeah, probably today's not a good day for you to start. You probably need to go to the ER, and he did. So, well, that was an extra set of nice young hands to come in and help that ended up not being able to start yet. So, but yeah, we're using Indeed. We keep a sign out in front of our shop. We just keep our sign out in front of our shop because we're always looking for people. Um, there's no point in us not, if they're good, we need them. So.
Awesome.
But we are trying to be what people say, slow to hire and quick to fire. We've got to be like that, it seems like, because we've hired some bad people before and waste too much time on them, and just because we don't want to fire them, we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and they end up not working out anyways, and they quit themselves, when we probably should have just fired them within the first 60 days or something, So your typical, you really need to stand by that
Yeah.
slow to hire, quick to fire kind of mantra when you're looking for people. But it's very hard because like right now we really need some hands, and it's like you just gotta be careful, I guess, not to hire too quickly.
Mhm.
So just because you're really you in need, So
Yeah.
well, Daniel, and for everybody, I kind of have a question. We started hiring like younger people, like 18, 19, 20, because one, this is
hmm
really hard work on your bodies. And then two, we need helpers because similar to you, like a lot of our people have been with us for a long time and they've grown to be leads now. So we really
Mm-hmm.
need helpers. So we're hiring young people, but we can't get them to show up on time. We can't get them to take work seriously. There's like excuse after excuse. They're taking like lots of personal calls, always on their phones. It's just like, I can't tell what's generational, what is just like lack of caring, or pride in work, and then what's like they're just them not knowing how to have a job. Like, does anybody have insight into that? Because I'm struggling to manage people like this.
We don't have any young people like that, so I can't speak to it. The guys that we've contemplated bringing in as helpers or that we're kind of put offers out to, they're more or less like mid 30s and stuff like that that have been in construction and are probably will be ideal candidates to turn into lead guys, not just helpers for the next however so long, you know. But I can imagine what you're talking about. I can definitely imagine it and understand it.
I have a 19-year-old kid right now that works for us. He's a third or fourth one, I think, that we've brought on in maybe the past year and a half. He's the best one so far. But a lot of what you just described, Christina, is we see that every day with him. A lot of it, I think it is generational. It's just, I don't think I feel like they don't have the ability to really focus like some of the older guys do and really pay attention and kind of absorb what's going on. I've found that it's beneficial if I kind of go like above and beyond to keep him hyper interested in what we're doing. He has a tendency to kind of drift off pretty frequently. Always on the phone, any time that there's not something actively going on, something to do, like the go-to is just the phone's out of the pocket and like I'm just going to continue watching whatever, video I was watching earlier today. I mean, whatever it is. I mean, even when it's like in the van riding to jobs, it's like just head down, just in the phone right away. Just no lack of awareness, I guess, of surroundings and just everything that's going on. It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
It's astounding to me. I mean, we have one helper and one girl in the office who's helping us answer the phones a little bit, and she's doing so great with the technology. She's doing great with customers. But she was on a personal call today for 25 minutes. And I was like, "Are you on a personal call?" And she was like, yeah, I'm on a personal call.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in a minute.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you missed a few phone calls from customers, and that's the job you're hired for. So not really sure where that disconnect is, but I don't know how to be like, I have to take a minute, breathe through it, and then be tactful. But it's not how I was raised. And I'm young, like I'm 31. Like I'm not necessarily like super old. I don't know.
Just say it. You're not old like some of the people.
We can take
Just say
it.
it.
Well, I am old, but I'll tell you what. Yeah, right. We can. But I'm probably one of the oldest ones here, Tim and I. And, in our generation, there were no phones. Obviously, we didn't have cell phones when we were younger. But when cell phones came out, even in the company I worked for, you were not allowed to have the cell phone going at all. I mean, if you were in meetings or anything else, and they, you weren't supposed to be taking personal calls during the day unless you had to, and of course people did. I mean, but today it's like it's expected to be able to do personal stuff all day. And that's, to me, I'm just not happy about it, and it makes it very difficult to manage a business. So, I think it's just something that there's not a real solution to. If somebody has a good suggestion, then, um, I want to hear it.
Well, Shannon had an incredible suggestion last week, but I don't know how realistic it is for us. But if it helps somebody else, she does 410s so that people can take doctor's appointments and do their personal stuff on their Friday or their Monday. I thought that was a great idea because if you have a lot of doctor's appointments or something going on in your life, you can get Fridays or Mondays or whatever. That is your day to do that thing. And so there's no excuse to be missing work or doing other stuff.
There's still no excuse. I mean, if somebody needs to take a little time, they can, and who's to say they're not going to do it during that 10-hour shift on 4 days a week,
Right. I mean, it needs to be the exception, or you need to be able to work it into their hourly rate. It's like, okay, yeah, you're here 8 hours a day, but you're on your phone for a half an hour, and we're paying you like $25 an hour. But maybe we should be paying you more like $23 an hour to make up for the half an hour that you're really not here, every day or
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, I think I remember like when cell phones came out. I'm like you, Brad, and like I had a cell phone back when like people didn't have cell phones, and I was able to like sit through a meeting without my phone ringing, or like go to work and work all day without making a call unless it was on my break and all that. And I think that what happened was when I when I got a phone, people didn't have phones, and my employer didn't feel comfortable asking me to use my personal phone work, right? And what a big thing that's changed is that now everybody has a cell phone, and people feel very comfortable letting their employees do business on their personal phone. So that kind of hamstrings you a little bit, right? Because how do you, um, ask your employee to make a call or send a customer a text or something on their personal phone, and then tell them, well, you can't use your phone to make a personal call during work hours, right? And I think that's a big kind of a sticky wicket, in the system. And I think the solution to that really is like you could, you could assign all of your employees phones. I mean, you could have phones for your employees on a really cheap plan, and make them lock up their phone in a locker when they come to work. And it's like, yeah, you've got a phone, but it's a work phone, and yeah, and it's not available for making personal calls. This is for doing business on. I mean, I see that as being really the only like solution to the phone problem, because it is a big problem, you know. Yeah, especially among like with this really younger people in their 20s. It's almost impossible. They're addicted to them. You can't get them off of those things.
And you see it anywhere. I stopped by three places today and just had some transactions and different. It was a gas station, and then I ran my truck through a car. Well, every single person that was involved with my transaction, they had their cell phone in their hand, and it was either on Facebook or they were on TikTok. It's not even just like a personal call or I'm on the phone all the time. It's just that constant need to watch something, and I think it's just, I don't remember when the iPhone came out, what year that was, but then social media came out, and it's just constant connection. used to you get a page or you'd get an actual phone call, and that's all you could do on your phone was talk back and forth. Now you can just the world is your oyster on this phone, and it's just nonstop, flick, 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 and
Yeah, it's
yeah,
just like mindless stimulation.
absolutely, absolutely.
It's an addiction, man. It's a dopamine hit. I
Hmm.
mean, they've made them that way on purpose. I mean, we all know it's like
Right,
they've been engineered that way
right.
to get people
They're
to,
making money by people doing this, and business owners are losing money by people doing this.
right? It's a transfer of wealth almost.
Yeah, absolutely, pretty much.
Yeah, and so the solution of having company phones is that you can control what's on them. I mean,
Yep,
they cannot have these apps on them
yep,
like Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and I mean, they may not need a browser at all, right? They may just need something that they can use to make phone calls and send text messages to customers or to the office or whatever.
Mhm.
Or maybe, email or a limited amount of, browser access for certain or a certain app that you want them to use, like follow up or something like that. But
yep.
yeah, that's the only solution I can see for it. And that's pricey because, you know,
Well, it's probably save you money in the long run, but the
right.
problem is you've got employees who are going to be extremely resistant to that, because you don't trust me, or,
Mhm.
you get all that pushback. And some of your older employees that, you got great relationships with, it's like now you're really battling somebody you're close with.
Yeah.
And then you got to be able to enforce it. Are they going to be able to, are you going to know when they're taking their own phones with them?
And
And
they're still gonna have their own phones. I mean, 10
sure
year
they
olds have,
are.
it's just
All right.
Yeah.
everybody in the world pretty much has a phone.
Yeah.
Can,
So there's
we can always do the old have a hard conversation thing and say, hey man, stay the hell off your phone while you're working. I mean that's because honestly, we're as the industry, I think we're a very relaxed and lackadaisical kind of industry, and we have downtime from jobs to jobs. And I mean, yeah, they're going to be on their phones and stuff, but it's like when it's time to go, man, it's time to go. Or like if Christina, your person in the office and stuff like that, it's just the hard conversations. And I guess maybe that's part of being a leader at some points and being able to have those conversations so you don't have to implement these some of the crazy. I mean, honestly, I think it'd be crazy to lock phones up in lockers and stuff like that, and I mean it's a yes, it solves a problem, but so does just maybe simply having a hard conversation and saying, hey man, if this is an ongoing problem, you're out, and that is what it is, so solves the problem
That's,
individually. It solves the problem per case, you know.
yep. That's what it boils down to. Exactly. If they were making 50, $60 an hour, then you could command whatever, you know,
Yeah,
but this is not, high fluty kind of job.
no,
So,
I mean it's a pretty chill job, I mean we're pretty most times we're everything's pretty easy going for residential shower door stuff.
It's a great
mhm.
job.
Yeah,
It's a great
that's
job
why
to
a lot of
have.
people do it. That's why a lot of
Yeah.
people get into it, is because it's not crazy. They do have access to their family when they may need it here and there. So
That's a
Yep.
good
but
topic. That's a good
It's
topic.
easy, easy
yeah.
job. That's
It's
what,
easy. It's
It-
easy as long as you can clock out and go home.
oh my God.
Some of us have to come home on Wednesdays and do freaking conference calls.
yeah, I
I
think most of
know.
us here don't clock out.
So
Hmm.
the other thing that I'm learning from this experience, hiring two very young people, is that I will never hire anybody who lives at home anymore. And that's not to say that they're bad people, but they're not hungry to keep a job to pay their rent. They have no motivation, none. They're like, well, mom's taking care of me.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by glassgadget.com. Showcase Innovations creates tools that help shower door installers be more efficient and save time. Check out glassgadget.com for more information.
That's it. So that's what I've learned from this experience. I hope you learn from my mistakes.
We had one of our candidates that applied through Indeed were not entertaining because they specifically said, hey, if you can beat my salary at this particular company I'm at, then, I'd be happy to join your team or whatever. And it's like, okay, so you're chasing $1 next. And that's not what we're not looking for somebody that's chasing $1 because as soon as you get on with us, you're going to be looking for another $1,
Yeah.
Well, and I'm happy to pay people.
Yeah, we're happy to. Yeah.
Well, it's just if your first question is how much are you going to pay me?
Mm-hmm. And can you beat it? Like, sorry, I'd rather get somebody less expensive and teach them.
Right.
Well, speaking of teaching them, that's another thing, so what about training? How do you go about, training and instilling these values in your workers?
All our training is done in the trucks with us. I wish we had this set up in the time and finances to do like what Bill and them do the training in house and stuff like that before they even step out the door and, training in our house, not your house kind of thing. But ours is, we'll do a lot of our training in new construction, I guess, where we have some less eyeballs on us and less stress. But our training is done hands-on in the field.
Job, huh?
Yeah. You'll ride around with me or somebody that knows what they're doing, and we'll tell you as much as we can tell you. And then other than that, it's just make us faster and learn, and we'll teach you as we go if you don't know what you're doing.
Well, I think for any, smaller company, unless you are like a really big shop that can create a whole department or something for training, you're going to get that kind of a training. You're going to get that kind of just on the job in the truck training. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a program, right? That doesn't mean that you can't have a system or a book, or standard operating procedures or whatever, I
Something they
think,
can read while they're driving around with you.
yeah, well, something yeah, exactly, and just take, be able to take home with them. And I think more and more these days, it's smart to have some kind of a video type training, something with like video with captions and voice that people can watch and listen to. That'd give them something to do on their phone.
You know what I just thought of all of a sudden? How it'd be cool. You know how you got like little puzzle games you can put together, like apps and stuff like that. You can just put together like a puzzle and you can have all these things for them. Like, hey, virtually install this shower door and let's see how you like a virtual installation thing where they're, like what your first steps, you can click a button that says unload the truck and it magically appears into the bathroom or something like that. And then, like these virtual steps where you're installing a shower door, but that's part of your training program to see like, hey, what steps did they take and, things like that. Like, and how to, that'd be interesting to build a virtual shower door installation training program.
That would be cool. Like it'd be like a game. And it's like, and if they skip a step, if they skip a step, you don't tell them, right? Until they get down the line and it's like, oh yeah, you forgot to get this out of the truck, didn't you?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go back out to the truck now. It's gonna cost you 10 points.
Because we have the programs to build the shower doors. Right. So how can we apply that build process to an enclosure,
That's a cool idea, man. I really like it.
Interactive.
Oh, go ahead. Daniel, it sounds like you should join the co-op and start making training.
Hey, what? That's right.
What?
I can
Good
hardly
idea.
get my dad to give me money for anything marketing wise or just anything extra that's not a cost of goods sold. Like, I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to, but him giving me money is for stuff that I want to do is far and few between.
We'd be happy to invite you to speak so you can help anyways. There's a lot of things you can do in the meantime.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, as long as I still have time to brush my teeth, I guess.
that's right. It's important. Brush your teeth.
Just enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's a cool idea.
That would be fun. I'd probably play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd also be great for office staff to know all the little details that the installers have to go through. I think that's so important.
Right.
That's something that I was actually doing, and I made my mother. I'm told she said she would do it, but having the office staff not necessarily cross trained, but you know how Home Depot has their corporate office work in the field and stuff like that. I wanted all of our people in the office a chance to get out into the field to have a day in each other's shoes, and even maybe if we're slow, have the installers maybe spend a day working with the office, helping answer phones or doing something like that, you know, and just dealing with that kind of stuff. But having like our guy that does our CAD drawings go out into the field for the day and see what he's drawing up, how it's actually installed, and what it looks like when it's finished and stuff, you know, that'd be fun for him to see because all he sees is numbers and papers and computers, you know. So I mean, he has gone to the field a few times delivering hardware to us and stuff, but on a scheduled and intentional basis.
It's very helpful to do that. We learned more than just um, the office understanding the guys' jobs, like having the office crew go with the guys and along the route that they scheduled, had them understand why routing was important, why being at North Side Austin at 4 o'clock was a really, really bad idea, no matter how cool it looked on a picture on a routing map. You added 2 hours drive to their home, and nobody's happy when they get home, no matter how much good culture you have. And they're mad at a specific person in the office who doesn't listen to them and thinks they're trying to get out of work when they're suggesting reroutes. But when you have an office person, go with them on the route, see what it's like for this guy to do those products, see how dumb it is to have two guys delivering a single pane, or like certain things that they don't get on paper because they're just routing projects that you told them to route in the most efficient manner. But when it comes to two-man teams, where they end up in town, what the office is actually looking over at them doing, like, hey, y'all two are riding. How come the guy in the passenger seat text the customer, let them know you're on the way? Like 3 times this week, y'all showed up and someone wasn't there. Y'all called me to call them. Like, y'all know how to use the app? Hold on, passenger. Let me close out TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Hold on, pull up this follow-up app or whatever app you're using that we built internally. Doesn't matter. And here's how you would send a customer a picture. Here's how to send a text. Oh, that's how you do it? I never knew that. We had 3 meetings about it. Everyone nodded their head. Yes, they understood. You all walked out of that meeting saying y'all were going to do it. Then half of y'all did it in the day. In the meeting, everyone's afraid to admit what they don't understand. It's better if they just say yes, yes, yes. So the guy in the office who's the hard case doesn't yell at them for being stupid for not getting it the first time. This is real human elements I've dealt with before. Everyone just shuts up, say they get it. We all walk out in the shop. You understand? I don't know what the hell they were saying. Did Ben get it? Let's ask Ben. And that's kind of what happens. So when you go with them, you get to see, text that customer before you go. Send a picture. Hey, we're already on site. Upload those after pictures y'all never send me. Great. Like, and the guy can say, hey, you know that spot, those 2 showers you sent me out to that weren't ready, you got pictures of them, you scheduled it anyways. This is why I can't measure. There's no way for us to get custom glass. We don't even know what the tile is going to look like. If there's going to be a bow, like this is why we wait to come out for measure when this layout looks like this. There's a lot of aspects that just happen on the fly when you let the people hop into the other people's shoes, including the installer who has to answer people's phone calls about what's going on, where the guys are at. And there's a process for them to check in, but they haven't. And now they understand the flip side. What does it feel like to be the person getting crapped on by every customer that calls because your guys aren't following basic things that they said they would do? Because being that that garbage can for everyone's trash, the office person, like you need to be praising them and making them happy all day because they're the front line for what's going on. And if you don't have a process, the guys aren't on the same team, like everyone's mad at each other and they're putting you up north on purpose because why should they do any favors for you? And the guy who was nice to them, they're rerouting them correctly. There's a lot of internal human elements that happen, but when you get on the same team, get on the same culture, be a leader, not just be a leader, but have leaders. Because when your leader in the truck is riding passengers, watching Netflix, Orange is the New Black, and he's excited to catch up on the seasons, he could have been doing so many proactive things, looking at the shower layout, looking at the cut sheets, looking at anything that could have been job related. He chose to do social media because he disconnected from work. He no longer had a value in being an A1 player, and the new guy helper watched exactly what kind of behavior he's going to mimic. So you have to have like many leaders that are bought in so that they reflect the company culture everywhere you go and aren't teaching the guys how to get away with the next thing like they've learned how to do. It's like there's a lot in that, but yes, pair your guys up. If you have the time, it's going to make things go downhill. Your bad numbers are going to go up because having people in roles they aren't supposed to be in when you already overwhelmed isn't a great operational thing to do on a day to day. But in a big case, it is great to get people on the same team. Like that is core to beginning to have a unit that works together. You got to make them like each other first.
You know, and you made a good point about the passenger in the truck. You know, we're talking about the younger kids that are on YouTube all the time and stuff. Well, maybe, you know, as they're riding or whatever they're doing, whoever's in the passenger seat, maybe they can be looking up the draw sheet, you know, the initial drawing sheet, and then comparing that to the cut sheets and the installation, you know, diagram or whatever we have that is going to result in a shower install, and that'll take up, you know, the whole trip of going from point A to point B is just reviewing that initial measure sheet compared to the initial or to the final draw sheet of the cut sheets and the install stuff, and that, you know, that would be a good time frame of them sitting in the passenger seat looking at the iPad or looking at the phone.
Also, conversely, sometimes making them drive, making sure they can actually freaking drive a truck.
Well, that too, for sure, with the rack on it or
Seeing how they can drive and do they drive and get on their phones while they're trying to drive, you know, like what's going on? It's hard to be bored when you're driving.
That is one thing, like my dad does not rule with an iron fist at all. Like he is very even keel. But one thing that he came down really hard on with our guys was phones while driving. If you're caught on the phone while driving by anyone, or if you get in an accident, and especially if it's a result of a phone while driving, it's immediate termination. That's it. And that conversation, I think, solved a pretty big problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's something that you just can't tolerate. Texting and driving or that sort of stuff, man. No bueno.
I'm terrible about that. That's where I get most of my work done is on the way to the next job.
I think we all are.
It rings so much when I'm driving, it seems like.
I know.
All I hear is that we're screwed in the future.
Hey, I have one great question. How
All
the
right.
hell are you doing over there, Adrian?
Oh man, it's hard, dude. It's hard.
Yeah.
I worked with my dad for 25 years, man. Walk into this office every day. I don't even want to come to work anymore. I just want to stay home and just stay in bed. His office is still the same. It's over there, man. And yeah, I try to stay away from that side. It's just too hurts.
Yeah.
It's easy
It's
for us.
nice to see you here.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. What was
Easy
that?
for us, obviously. I said easy for us to say, obviously, but you gotta carry on that legacy. I mean,
Yeah, it's it's different now. It's instead of Dad, he took care of the operations of the business, and me and my brother, we took care of our own areas. He did the shower windows, and I did shower doors. Now we have to split everything up together now. It's like, I'm not a book person either. I'm like, dang it, I'm not. So we just got a good CPA. We'll just send, we got people just doing that for us. We have, paychecks and stuff for our payroll and stuff like that. Makes things a little easier, but it's still, it's still pain in the butt though.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, everything's good. I appreciate all you guys' concern. It means a lot to me, guys. Thank you. Well, thanks for reaching out.
Glad you're here, man.
Yeah, but yeah, what I was hearing, I mean, it's hard to find anybody, especially where I'm at. It's we're screwed, man. I mean, we got this young generation. They're just like I said. I have one guy comes in every morning, spends like 30 minutes on the shitter, man. I'm like, damn. I go, I'm like, he spent a half hour in there I'd say about 20 minutes to a half hour. And then I'm like, damn, I go, I figure what we pay him, I'm paying him $20 to take a dump.
Yep.
All right. Times that by 5. Well, that's what is that? That's 100 and what? 100 bucks?
Yeah.
Almost 100. And then times that by 4, I'm like freaking I'm paying like half his rent with poop.
Just go hit the breaker switch and turn the lights off. Tell him you can't afford to do both. Pay him and keep the lights on.
Take the toilet paper out.
I feel like putting one of digital knobs on the door, and they gotta pay to use the toilet.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah.
Like it's
California, man. California, we're really restricted. I mean, like it's like we have a reason to terminate anybody. We can't just say you're fired. Like, dang, we have to go all through this whole process. It's a little different, Especially
I remember working in California for a summer. Like, how's the hourly stuff there still? Like, I worked in Santa Monica at a retail store for a summer, and it was like you got overtime after 8 hours and after 40 hours. What's stuff like? Is it still like that there now?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So like that. Yep.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten better.
No.
Yeah. No, but it's. Yeah, I'm looking for somebody to take my place doing my installs, and we're not super busy. I'm just looking for one person, but I'm all about quality control, man. I hate going back and I hate going go backs. I rarely do. When I do installs, it's a one hit wonder, man. I go in there, I rarely go back. I go back maybe every once in a while, or silicone maybe it's a little leaky to the clip or something, but that rarely happens too. But I'm looking for somebody. So if you guys know anybody in California, hey, even though how screwed up we are, I think we're still the best state in the country. North part of California, not Southern California. Yeah, no, Northern California.
No, Central.
Yeah.
No, Tim. Sorry.
Northern
California.
Central Coast.
You guys are full of the hippies on there. Tim.
You got some hippies.
I got hippies too, but they're hidden.
Yeah.
They're the ones that grow the pot.
Yep, that's right.
You gotta watch out for the mushroom growers, though.
Yeah, especially look out for those, man.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, seriously. No, but yeah, we're I don't know what we're gonna do in the next 20 years. I mean, with help. I mean, you guys are right. I mean, they're on the phone. I have a guy that's my helper. He's 24, 25. He doesn't even have a license.
Okay, right.
No,
we're gonna have robots.
But he's a hell of a good helper. No, that's why he's I mean, he knows his stuff. Like I could count on him. He knows the truck. He knows what to load. He knows how to do the installs. Like he knows everything. So it's like, all right, and I pay him well. He gets paid $25 an hour, for just not even having a license.
Yeah.
So, but he's a good helper to me. So he's the one that takes a half hour in the bathroom though, too. So
might as well just put his picture up here.
Yeah. I'm like,
come on, let's see.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, all right. But like I said, he is like
your screen.
he's a great helper, though. I mean, I guess you got to get the good and the bad. I guess this.
No, some of the best people have some of the biggest problems, and this is where business owners start accepting faults. Other guys that are held to higher standards see it, and you either enforce that no phone policy, or you let that one guy who has a family, 5 daughters, she cries when she goes on the way to school. He gets to answer it, talk to her, talk her down, and then he has a unique situation that everyone kind of resonates with in their heart, and then other people, it's hard to be held accountable. So it's real easy to have these conversations where everyone says, we're going to do this. But then when you have real life scenarios and you want to be a good human to your person, and you want that same flip side, and you know what you get when you don't give it to them versus when you do, like, it makes you give and take. And that's where I'm like, in this day and age, harder to say this is like it or there's the door. Because back in the day that worked, there weren't many doors for them to walk into in the town they lived in which they were restricted from moving to because resources and technology wasn't there. Now, you don't like it, you can go. When dad says that now, or business owner says that, they go. And whether it's California, Craigslist, or TikTok, or social, or overseas somewhere, because couchsurfing.com is a thing, and people professionally don't pay things and just live a life however they want. So when you give them options, they'll take them. And so you got to actually create a place people want to work at. And if they're going to be on their phones, turn that to your benefit. Hey, there's a lot of stuff y'all gonna be doing for us. Call the customers. If you're going to be on the phone and we're not going to gripe about it and we can't win this battle and we aren't willing to draw those lines, give you company phones, have restricted apps, there's a lot of services out there that'll help you do that. That's what they do. You can pay them. They minimize the cost, make it easy for you to do one-click control over people's phones or your phone. And like 5 positions have 5 different sets of things you give them permission to do. There's companies that have figured this out for you if you want to go that route. But I think the easiest way for the smaller guys to do it is just be on the phone, take that before picture and after picture. I know you send messages on Facebook, just do that for us. Call that customer before. Upload these pictures to the app. Review this document before you get on the job. If you want to watch whatever you want to watch for that whole truck ride, we're going to say no, but half the truck ride, do these few things. And then catch up on that episode or whatever. We're not gonna act like we don't know, and we're not gonna come down and police you that every second it has to be ours in this gap. Because the flip side is what you get when you aren't strict like that. You get a guy who stays later, who comes in earlier, who's willing to work off the clock, who takes on that job on the way home because it matches his route, but he'll do it in his car. Like, you get them willing to go over for you when you give a little. It's not be a carpet to be ran over, but like this little flexible, we have a mission, you know our mission, you know what we want to represent, but make sure you do it within our standards and like do what we ask, and we're going to be real flexible with you getting that 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Tuesday morning, because that's what day is field day, and half the dads aren't going to be there. But because of our flexible schedule, you'll let me go, and what I'm going to give you is this Friday, this Saturday, this after hours, 5 more hours on this day, or early hours on that day. Like, when you aren't that strict, let people be. Some people want to work 60 hours a week, day and night, every hour you can give them. Some then fall in love, get married, have a family, and they want 30 hours a week, 35, or just a hard 40, and that's it. They'll give you everything, but don't ask them for more. And when you can actually craft their work to match their goals in life now, you'll get like a person who isn't looking for $5 more somewhere else, or someone who is flexible with 4 and 10s or whatever. Just listen to what they want, ask them what they want, and then like try to craft the work around it without being pushovers. That's the culture we're in now, because that's what we're dealing with. People who want a place they're happy telling other people they work at. And you just got to be that place. And then they're not looking for the next opportunity or having their ear up of, I got a spot for you, man. Pays great. If they like you, they'll be like, nah, more money isn't going to take me over there. People can get offered more money everywhere. It's liking where they show up every day. It's going to keep them in your culture and training the next guy, right?
I have a quick question about we were talking about commissions earlier. What's your typical structure on a sales rep person with their commission and base pay, and then also your structure with installers, and if they're getting bonuses like quarterly bonuses or anything like that, if they're hourly but you give them a bonus per, a profit sharing style bonus of some sorts or anything like that? Like, does anybody have any experience with that? I mean, our sales reps are me and another guy. They're unconventional sales reps, so it's not normal anymore for us.
we try to measure a percentage. Like once tracking the data, it's like you have to have a conversation of what metrics matter, what's the flexibility on the metrics, and then where are the brackets for what the payout is. So it's like 90% install rate, that's reasonable. On time rate, how many days of the month were they on time? All these other factors, like what's the behavior you want them to have? You create those measurements of how you measure that behavior. If you have that tracker in the car, how they drive, what their insurance score was this month. Like there's a lot of metrics we did for like on time install, completion rate, go back rate, cost of mistake, not just number of mistakes. Some guy can make 10 mistakes that are documented, but one guy screw up, took the cake. So it's like there's a lot of elements that go into that conversation that don't make it so easy when you want to create a formula. But those are the metrics that I would like start with. And then the tiers of bonus structure, what percentage you match out of that score is where you get X percentage of this predetermined bonus. Or vice versa, a percentage of whatever profit we determine came from your truck. Like when you go down to actually tracking trucks and people, you have assigned two-man teams and they don't rotate, easier to track how much money, how much revenue truck one versus truck two. And like there's a lot of metrics, but then it goes into how come one guy gets $10,000 worth of jobs on his truck for 10 hours, the other guy gets $50,000 worth of because they did the wine cellars instead. And how come the office assigned it that way? And now your bonus structure literally is designed for them never to hit it. So a lot of variables we reached where in the beginning it sounded great, but when you go into execution, you're like, man, that's not going to work. So it's a tough battle, but I definitely one worth considering. I just haven't seen anyone who came up with anything ironed out that didn't get changed 2 months later.
I can kind of speak to that too, Daniel. I mean, we had to have something in place. Sorry, my dog's drinking water so loudly. But
my dog does it too.
Annoying. But we have, you know, Smart Builder, so we can track a lot of the stuff. It takes a lot of time and diligence, and people have to enter data correctly, but that's something that I audit on a regular basis. But it's very effective because our sales guys are responsible for following up with their customers. They have a follow-up list. It gets like renewed every day by status updates in Smart Builder, and you know they're responsible for that. And we have seen a serious improvement in sales just based on follow-ups. And then you're also getting your feedback from customers about, oh, well, you know, if you see the crescent slider, you know, you lose those more often than not, then, you know, you have maybe a pricing issue there or something. So then it, you know, one thing begets the next and you get a lot of information. And then the guys also have an ownership over their customer success and things like that. So it's been helpful. I really like it. We did have to, we put together a few different scenarios for our sales techs and offered, you know, different people have different priorities. So some people want, you know, more commission. They're hungry. They want to know that they can make more. And some people want more of a base pay and less commission. So, you know, that's fine. But then you just also have to let them know if their base pay is higher and their commission's lower, like if something happens with the economy, they might have to wiggle a little bit with how that works, or they might be let go, you know? I mean, I don't know how to say that tactfully, but it's like if you're paid the most and the economy is bad, you're probably going to be let go if you're not effective. So there's balance is, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But definitely spreadsheets, scenarios, options, make it a conversation.
That's a really good take on that, Christina. Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, very obviously well thought out. It's something that probably has evolved over a lot of time. Well, we didn't really get to talking about benefits, but man, I suppose we could probably make a whole call about that.
Benefits about what? Like health benefits?
Yeah, benefits. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be kind of cool to have some kind of a professional come on, talk about benefits and all that. So if you got a guy,
I got a girl. My girl will probably do it.
all right, we should talk about that, Adrian.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
All right, you guys. Well,
All right.
thanks for coming. It's always good to see you. Hope you have a great rest of your week. We will see you here next time on Shower Door Professionals.
Good night.
All right,
All
guys.
right. Good night.
You guys.
Yeah.